Hello everyone, and thanks for watching Edupedia World videos. This is Sabiuddin Ahmad Siddiqui, and now we are continuing with the part number 19th, where we are continuing with the practical of using identifiers, literals, boolean values and types, data types and something like that. So we will be including them all in this program. So you have to take keen interest in this program while we are working on this. So we start now. So come on and see, go to the file menu. This is NetBeans. Go to the file menus, then click on new project. And as you know that in the previous tutorials where I explained about the NetBeans, you have to select Java and the simple Java application and then click on next. It will come up with this dialog box where you have to just give a name of your project and then the path you will define. Let's suppose identifiers, right? Or identifiers, or you can say that I just change the name identifiers, T identifiers. You can see that T identifiers, and as the name applies T, as you know, the class name should be, first name should be capital, first letter should be capital, then identifiers, T identifiers, type identifiers, right? Now you can see that I have changed the path where I want to keep all my work or files, Java file, .java files. You can see that this will appear in a form that the folder is created as T identifiers, type identifiers, and then you have to click on finish. Even you can browse to change the location or position. Now if you want to keep it on D drive, if you want to keep it on C drive, E drive, it's up to you, but for the safety and for the secure side, we just keep the data on D or E drive so that we can reference back if the system crashes or if your Windows malfunctions. So now continuing with this, you can see that click on finish. Now the folder is created and you can see the project is also created, and the project window is showing you the name of the T identifier, and it has a source package, then T identifier package, where you have seen that one class is added without informing you that it has added the T class. Now this is basically the first, right? Now you remove unnecessary comments. You have to remove unnecessary comments, and we will see that if the data type is okay, you can see that the variable or the type will highlight, otherwise it will generate errors. Now here I am not writing or not importing anything. This is a simple program which you have to focus. Now let's suppose we are going to initialize integer values. Let's suppose we are starting with the values integer. Now you can see it has come up with the red line because I have not given any value or any type or any, you can say, variable name or identifier. Let's suppose integer I, right? Now I compiled this thing. You can see the compiled result because you can see the underline, green underline, that means it should have a value. So I'm just putting 0 with this. So in some cases when this 0 is used or I is used, this will remove. So we are not going to, in this debate, that we are going to put 0 or not. We are just removing this so that we can save our space, right? Now we have character C equals to and terminated through semicolon. Long L, that's it, and then float F, then double D, right? You can see that integer I, character C equals to C, single character. As you know that character stands only for one character. It could be C, it could be Y, it could be N for yes and no values. Now you can see that long L, float F, double D. Now why we are understanding this thing, so that in the next programs coming ahead we will understand the use of GUI interfaces with these variable declaration, and then we have to store the values, so that if we are implementing those GUI interfaces, so we will be using these variables behind those message box or something like that. So now keep watching. So double right, now we are going to initialize, let's suppose boolean b, boolean b. Now I can type in the value. Now here I am initializing this b equals to true. You can see if it is wrong, then definitely there must be a red underline. So keeping in view boolean is true, and then you have, let's suppose b, boolean b, and let's suppose, or you can see this t and f. You can see that two different characters are not allowing. Boolean does not allow to declare side by side with the use of comma, as we know that the separators are the structure of the program, so they are the parts of the program structure. So now here it is not allowing you. Let's suppose now you can see this. So you can see that I have changed the type. Now again I'm making this t, right? So you can see this t equals to true. Or now again if I want to just store false, so now we have taken f previously for float, that is why. Or I can just take this, let's suppose f1, just f1 can be taken as false, so I can use the f1 equals to false. Now these are the values which I have stored, and as you are seeing this. Now next is the string. A string name, right? String name. Now you can see I have declared these values, these types of data, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 types, and you can see that one is the short s, right? So this short type is also declared. You can see that this is a string. Now if I change this capital S to small, you can see that there will be an error, because this is not found, and this is the wrapper class, main class, from which name is being assigned, and name is become the part of the string. So now you see we have defined all the variables we are using with the type. Now I'm going to just include the J option pane over here, so that you can see that I'm going to just write this manually, the values it contains. J option pane dot show message, show message box, so show message dialog. Now here null, and the message, let's suppose the first one should be integer, then \n, then you have character or CHER you can write, then you have again new line, then long, then you have new line, then float, then you have double, then you have boolean, then you have string, and then you have short. Now they are enclosed in the string, and now here I am just running the program to show you that how does this print. Right click on this, run the file, see that all the values are appeared in a vertical format, one after another. I can put the number as well. Let's suppose 1 dash, and then you have, let's suppose 2 dash, let's suppose 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, and the last one is the 8th. Now again you have to run. If you even save this, this will be saved for, let's suppose there is any breakdown or something like that, but if you right click and run the file, it also saves. You can see the numberings appeared next to the data types. Okay, now you can see that first option box you have done, and in the next tutorial we will use the, let's suppose, how to store values in variables with the help of J option as a GUI component. So now you can see that now here you have initialized, that I have initialized here. If I want to use this, you can see now, understand the structure of J option pane. Now J option pane dot, you can see I have not referenced, you can see that it has automatically imported the file which I have referenced here, that is J option pane. You can see this. If I'm not importing this, you see that I have not imported this thing, and I had just straight away wrote the J option pane as you have seen this thing, and I have just referenced the show message dialog box, and then you can see I have started putting the values or the message in the text in the course. Right now again I'm just putting, you can see that I'm highlighting something here. You can see that, run the file, you can see this is the message coming here. Now if I want to change that my message should come here, I want to write something here, and this I should be changed to my given object here, so I can just make 2 changes here. Now see the J option pane here. Now this is terminated. Now put comma over here, and then this is the another title marks. This is, let's suppose, data types, right? And again 1 comma, and then option pane dot, let's suppose information. You have information, I have put, right, input value property information message. You can see information message. Yes, this is done. You can see when this becomes green, that means it is okay. If it is not green, so just keep checking that if there is any error reported. Okay, now again running this again to see that whether this takes effect or not. You can see the data types appears here, and information I comes over here. If we type, if we do not type, now I'm just going to change this so that you can see the impact. I'm going to just use the critical mark over here, J option pane dot, so that the color change you can see. Error message, let's suppose I'm changing this to run file to show you that how does this change. By default it will show you the information I if you do not even write, but to show you show the people that okay, you are doing this thing and you are doing that thing, so it is you can say compulsory that you have to include the error message or something like that. Now coming to the normalization fact, that is we are going to again setting it back. Now changing this to, you can see that it changed to error message. Now you can see information dot exclamation error, and I'm going to put information. These are the methods which can be used later on, but the simple method is information message. We want to complete the structure of the J option pane. Now this is the whole structure of the J option pane. You can see that each type now is declared, and now I'm going to show you the validity of each one. Let's suppose if this is the literal valid literal I equals to 0 integer I. Now I'm coming to the next line to show you that how to work on literals and what are the literals. Let's suppose I equals to Wikipedia world, right? you can see the error appears even I put the state semicolon, right? Because the type is not justified. That means the type is not justified and you are trying to just accept the value which is not integer type. So this is the validity of the literal. Now if I change this to 0 or any value, even I put over here 0.0, this will generate error because this is not the type of float, this is not the type of double. That is why this will generate errors. So it should be straight away simple. Now you can see that comes to the character. You already know that the character type, if I am just putting 2 or 3 characters, let's see what happens. It becomes error. It's showing you the error, right? So in that case, what you have to do, you have learned this thing and you know that the use of this. So remove this, let it be the single character, then long, just long. Let's suppose I'm just going to, or I can just use this, I can just show you here C and then C equals to C. Now this is authentic. Now if I am putting yes, then it is okay. Now you can see that. Now long, coming to long, L equals to 0, right? It's okay. Now I'm putting 0.0, 0.0. See, it is not supporting. That means integer and long do not support the decimal, as I have explained you in the previous video. So you can see that you can take the reference that long simple works. Now coming to the float, f is defined over here. Now here I am using f equals to 0. If I assign 0 only, it will accept because it is a type where it can accept even the decimal values and the straight simple integers. Now if I put 0.0, it will accept. To some extent it is not accepting, but when the total becomes this, so you can see that the practically it is not accepting, right? Now coming on to double, so we can see that the D, or we can just type this way, or when we declare 2D or the value, let's suppose when we are formatting this thing, we will define there 2D, that 2D means 2 decimal, 3D means 3 decimal, 2F means 2 floating points, F means point decimal, F floating point, right? So we will be using that in the next video where we will be understanding the formats. So how to just associate these things where we want to store decimal points and something like that. So D equals to, again I'm just showing you, maybe this is still because we are just doing in a straight manner and we are not defining the format. That is why it may produce errors. Let's suppose D equals to 0.0. Yeah, only double accepts the 0.0 value directly, right? So coming on to Boolean, as you know already, Boolean is already defined. T equals to true and F equals to true, and shorts you know S. So again S equals to 0. Now this is, you have seen that all the types of variables have been assigned a value, and you can see that each one has a different value. Or the numerics we have seen, and float you have seen that I have written directly 0.0. it has not accepted, but it can accept when you are formatting this thing through the printf statement and by writing the point f or 0.2f. So that means the 2 decimal points, or point D or 0.2D, something like that. So this is also the use of formats when we are outputting the data. So always remember that if you want to show the decimal point with floats, you have to set the format when you are writing the output statement. So you have seen that we have done all these things as far as the literals and all the literals and separators are concerned. You can see that all these separators, brackets, and these are the square brackets which is for arrays, and this is a curly bracket. And now you can see we have learned this thing today, that the J option pane, the first program, and also you knew about the directly use of import statement. I did not include this statement when I just used the J option pane word, and it automatically imported the reference of J option pane from the Java X.swing. You already know this thing. So I hope you will like this, and we will be continuing in the next video, where we will be understanding that how to just format this thing and something other related to this, the very beginning and very interesting, you can say, the part of the practicals. So I hope you will like this. Thanks for watching.